Greetings. 2 weeks ago on the Marketing Life Coach, we asked you this question. Could it be that your marketing is nothing more than a dead tree? And then last week on Marketing Lessons from the Movies, we went to the King's Speech and we discovered a great marketing truth, and that is, today you're going to have to learn how to use the microphone, how to use the media if you want to live and do business in the 21st century as you live and breathe and speak the marketing life. So today we're going to ask, is it time for you to be on the radio? Be on the TV? Should you become a broadcast marketer? That's what we're going to talk about today on The Marketing Life. Thank you for joining us. I'm Stan Hustad. I am your Marketing Life Coach. I'm the author of You Make the Difference, a financial advisor's guide, and indeed a guide for everybody who wants to learn the art of marketing you. And our fundamental premise on this program is this: the best kind of marketing is your life. That's why we call it the marketing life. It's how you live your life. It's how you treat others. It's how you do business. Not just the message you put out there, not just the paper you put in front of people. It's not jumping in front of people and saying, "Notice me." It's about serving others and making a difference in their lives, making them smile, creating enjoyable experience, indeed. Creating experiences in which people want to come to you. It's not about prospecting, it's about attracting. All of these are the new ideas, the great new ideas, I'd like to believe, to help you enjoy marketing so that you can do it well and do it effectively and make a difference in the lives of others. And when you do, you will truly grow your business. As someone said, you'll have more fun and make more money. And that's what business is about. Well, again, I'm asking you that question. Would you like to be on the radio? Now, I've spent years around the world on radio programs, producing them, writing for them, being involved in them. As I oftentimes say, with a little bit of a twinkle in my eye, and I'm demonstrating it right here on the camera, I have a face made for radio, but I'm also now enjoying and learning how to use the camera, because it's not just radio, which again is very, very powerful, but it will be more and more video as to how we will market ourselves. So I will ask you that question. Do you want to be on the radio? Should you be on the radio? Would you like to learn how to be a broadcast marketer? Well, before we get into that subject, I want to thank you. A number of you made some inquiries about me and my well-being as a result of the recent tragic events, the shooting right here in Tucson, Arizona. Again, thank you for your interest. As I came to the Bits on the Wire Broadcast Center, I drove right by that Safeway, that Walgreens place that you now know as a result of the worldwide media. In fact, I oftentimes do my banking right at a U.S. Bank branch right in that Safeway store. It's just a few miles from my home, been there often. The proverbial, but truly truthful and graceful, there but for the grace of God go I. Could have been there, I'm not. I was not in the wrong place at the wrong time. Again, I don't want to manipulate. I don't want to say in any way to use that. That's why I'm doing this several days after the event, but just to thank you for your concern and your inquiry. And of course, we just simply say prayers and thoughts for all those hurt, all of those who suffer and continue to need our hopes and prayers for their recovery. Well, what about the radio? What about the media? As we learned from lessons from the movies, the King of England learned that if he wanted to be a leader, even though he was incredibly shy, even though speaking was not what he wanted to do and could not do it well, he learned that to be a leader, and it's true even more so today, that if you want to be a leader, where less and less people literally use that dead tree for their marketing, should I learn how to do audio programs? Should I do CDs? Should I do podcasts? Should I do internet radio programs? Should I do what you're doing right here, Stan? Reaching out to us around the world on the World Wide Web by producing internet television programs. Should you be on the radio and should you become a broadcast marketer? As we now know, you're going to have to learn how to use that microphone. You're going to have to learn how to use the electronic media if you want to grow your business. It's just a fact of life. Now, you may use it more, you may use it less. In fact, you may use it not very much at all, but the very same skills that you will learn in that are going to be very, very important in learning how to present yourself, because remember, it's not about the dead tree, it's about how you perform. Truly, it is personal performance marketing. One of my friends had a wonderful experience because of his ability to write and the blogging that he was doing. A local radio station in a fairly good-sized market had some time to kill. That happened. They hadn't been able to sell it, and they knew he was a rather talented communicator. So what happened is, even though he couldn't afford to pay for it, or at least he didn't want to pay for it, they gave him time on the radio for 2 hours every Saturday morning. And that arrangement went on and did extremely well for him. And an interesting point, his radio program had nothing to do with the business he was in. But at the same time, it gave him exposure. People got to know him. He let people discover what he did, even though the program wasn't about it. His program grew, and his business certainly had a great advantage because he was on the radio and people got to know him. But that came to an end. They found somebody to buy the time, and so since he was there for free, he had to go on his way. In his posting, he simply said this: "It has been one of the best experiences of my life. I've learned a great deal. I've made many, many friends." And then with a little smile, you can kind of almost hear him or see him, even though it's a blog posting. He said, "Everybody should be given the opportunity at one time in their life to commandeer a radio station. Have the ability to speak your mind and to talk to people in that way sometime in your life." Now, I'm going to ask you that question. Should you think about becoming a broadcast marketer? Now, we've talked about this before, but I want to keep emphasizing it. The importance of being heard. Yes, what you write and put down is important. What people see is important. But what we are discovering more and more is that if you really want to affect behavior, it's the hearing. Now, there's a good chance that some of you could do a little bit of an experiment, and right now, you could close your eyes. In fact, I perhaps could ask Josh to make the screen go blank, but I won't do that. But you know, even though you yourself wouldn't see me, the fact that you could hear me and my energy and my personality and all that I'm doing, perhaps you could get the message. On the other hand, if perhaps my producer Josh would cut off the sound, there's a good chance that even though you saw the pictures, you wouldn't get the message. Now, when you put them together, then you have the power of television, the power of video, because you not only have the picture is worth 1,000 words, you also have the hearing. And more we are learning that if you want to affect behavior, if you want people to do something, if you want to really move and motivate them, it is in the hearing. So should you think about, again, being on the radio? Because more and more, dead tree marketing is less and less effective. It just takes too much time, too much energy. It can't speak to the moment. In fact, one of my friends who owns a printing company has expressed to me the fact that he may be merging his business with other outlets and seeking other ways to help people because, yes, printing is still important and paper is still important, flyers are still important, but more and more he's discovering that businesses are going more and more to the electronic media. They are getting involved in producing YouTube videos. They're getting involved in producing podcast or internet TV shows. They're combining these things, and more the website is less and less text, but the website is a video show, just like the Marketing Life Coach. And it provides all kinds of ways, written material, audio material, video material for people to get involved in. Now, let me just try and help you understand what it might be to get involved in radio. Now, when you're involved in radio, please keep in mind that it is not an informational medium. This is the mistake many people make. I was one time working with a guy in the financial services who got the opportunity to do a radio program during the 5 o'clock hour on financial planning. And he said, "Is that a good idea?" And I said, "Now think about it. Think about it, my friend. 5 o'clock on the radio, what are most people doing?" Well, that's the drive time. They've had a hard day, they're going home, and you're going to go on the radio and for an hour at 5 o'clock in the afternoon talk about such a dry subject as financial planning? That might be dangerous. You might put people asleep on the road. And he never thought about it that way. See, when you think about radio, you have to understand that radio, just like TV, is primarily an entertainment medium. And that's what people are used to. That's what they've thought about. So if I'm going to get involved in radio and TV, I have to understand that there has to be a substantial entertainment element. I also have to find a way to really engage you. I mean, draw you in, bring you in, perhaps have you call in, have you write in, bring a guest or a friend of yours in, because a good radio program engages me. By the way, good marketing makes people smile from time to time. They enjoy it. It has to be enjoyable. It has to be engaging. It has to be entertaining. And it has to be energizing. Now, that's important. You see, what I want to make sure you understand is that it's not just about information and education. In fact, if you have information and education, it's not really very good at that unless you understand that you make it energizing. Nothing happens without energy. You are trying to engage people, energize them, entertain them, make them smile, and in the meantime, showing them some things that truly does instruct them and educate them, but it is all in the context of an enjoyable media experience. Now here's my challenge to you. It's really neat to get involved in. And I'm going to ask you this question because this is what this program is all about, because here at the Marketing Life Coach and Bits on the Wire, if you want it, we're going to present a whole series of instructions on how to use the broadcast media. We're going to challenge you. I believe that one of the best investments you can ever make right now. Now you've got a sales training that you're using. You're learning marketing. I'm going to encourage you to get some media training. Learn how to use the broadcast media. By the way, you're going to discover that writing for the media is very different. Oftentimes we say when you write a book or a flyer, you're writing for the eye, for people to read. When you're writing for the media, you're writing for the ear, because people will hear it as well as see it. And the kind of writing that is good for the written word is not necessarily the kind of writing or the kind of speaking that you do when you're actually talking to people. You need to know that. You have to understand that there are things about speaking. Now, it's not just talking. And that's why a lot of radio programs where they're done by non-trained amateurs, they don't come across, well, radio's about talking. No, it's about speaking. It's about learning to use your voice as an instrument. It's understanding, as one young man came to me and said, could I be on the radio? And I had to simply say well, we have to work on your voice. First of all, it's way too high-pitched, you speak way too fast, and we have to learn the art of speaking and announcing and talking on the media, on the radio. It's not just talking, so I could be on the radio because I can talk. And you also have to understand that people are used to, and in fact, the great radio people understand this, radio is always a business. When you get involved in it, people have to understand that people do it, get involved in it because it's a way to make money, which I'm going to demonstrate right now. Many of you are seeing this program, and you're seeing it on the free section, right? Hopefully you're enjoying that. And that's a marketing principle. I'm not trying to sell you and then serve you. I'm trying to serve you first, and then I'm trying to sell you. That's right. There's a variety of programs that we are producing that are for sale, and I want you to buy them because they're really good. And we're going to produce a video series that you can buy on how to really get good at the broadcast media. Get really good at the broadcast marketing. And there's do you know that you could put up a little radio station in your office for less than $100? Do you know that much of the software you need to do audio programs is free? Have you ever thought about the fact that you can do a 10-minute TV show on YouTube? Everybody else is doing it. Why don't you do something like that? But why don't you do something of quality? So I'm going to ask you to do two things. First of all, write to me at stan@marketinglifecoach.com. Now I'm going to say that again because this is radio. stan@marketinglifecoach.com. Got that? I will not say it a third time. I hate when people do that. You got it? Okay. And then say, yes, I would be very interested in learning how to be a broadcast marketer and learn all of the skills, both in writing and communicating, and some of the inexpensive technologies that I can use, because you know what? In today's world, you can be on the internet radio. You can be on the internet TV. You can do all of the things that years ago would have cost hundreds, literally hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of dollars. It's all possible now. Dead tree marketing truly is dying and is dead. The future belongs to the exact kind of media you're seeing me produce for you now. High energy, videos, professionally done, or at least an enhanced amateur status, something that you can be in front of people on demand, they can see and watch when they want, and they can be benefiting from it. Because it's not about me, it's about the person you're speaking to. I'm just going to ask you to think about that and let me know. I'm going to ask you to look at our programs there. Special program on an introduction to the marketing life. All of these shows, you can see a 2- and 3-minute sample, and then you purchase it. And if you're not happy with it, just let us know, and we'll take care of that. That's right. Make it safe and make it easy to begin. Start to buy and produce our programs and share them with others. You can do that. Now, here's the challenge. And I was going to talk about this last week, but I ran out of time. But that's okay. I've got another program to do it right now. One of my friends has learned and shared with me a great principle. He calls clients and he simply says to them, with your permission, I'd like to visit with you on the phone to have 10 minutes of clarity. He doesn't ask to see them in their office, but he has found that just calling people up using the phone, again, the phone is a form of good radio if you know how to use it personally, and he has been able to impact people, instruct people, get people to come for appointments, to even buy things, because he simply says, I'd like to visit with you for 10 minutes. 10 minutes of clarity. Wonderful idea. Now, why don't you think about putting together a series of audio or video programs for your clients, for your colleagues, simply on the subject, 10 minutes of clarity? What would you say? Let's say you're working with business people, you're working with clients and customers, and you had 10 minutes on the radio. You had 10 minutes on television. What would you do? What would you say to help people say, yeah, that was good. That's clear to me now. What kind of audio or video program would you produce in order to attract people to you that could be, on that subject, 10 minutes of clarity? By the way, coming up, we're also going to go from 10 minutes to 1 minute. What if I gave you 60 seconds on the Super Bowl? You literally could give your message out on the Super Bowl. 1 minute, the world is watching. Would you know what to do, what to say, what to produce if you had 60 seconds on the Super Bowl? Now, if I've done my job right, I've got you engaged. You'd say, wow, that would be interesting. That would be fun. I wonder how I would do that. Well, another rule of marketing is hopefully leave them wanting more. And I also know that 60 minutes is way too long for a TV show. 90 minutes, as one of my persons said to me about the webinar they were going to do, is going to be really good. And I said 90 minutes may be a little bit too long. So in just these few minutes, hopefully I've challenged you to look at the products that we can help you with. Think about, maybe I should learn more about being on the radio. More and more, I should be involved in learning how to use the media. Well, we'd like to help you. So, let us know. Again, I'm Stan Hustad. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your concern. Thank you for listening to The Marketing Life. All the best and blessings until next time, and bye for now.